Hello and welcome to this Employability Skills Programme session. My name is Nick Fannin from Bright Red Triangle, which is the Enterprise Hub at Edinburgh Napier University. This session is just a quick recap of what you did in Trimester 1, and I look forward to what we're going to be doing in Trimester 2. I wanted just to start by talking about what the Employability Skills Programme is all about. And this is basically an initiative to help you develop the skills and the attitudes and behaviours that you will require in your future career. We've spoken to a lot of organisations out there who are looking to employ new graduates, and they've been telling us about the skills and attributes that they are looking for. A lot of these are focused around complex problem solving, critical thinking, effective communication and teamwork. This programme is designed to offer you an opportunity not just to develop but also to practice these skills. We're doing this in such a way that we can provide you with group work scenarios, providing a chance to practice the positive skills, attitudes and behaviours that you will need in the real workplace. This is a chance to practice the skills and gain experiences that you can use in the future and talk about in interviews. The survival skills that employers say they're looking for today are also the skills that entrepreneurs require to succeed. Critical thinking and problem solving are really important. Being able to collaborate across networks, not just within your team but across your stakeholder group. Knowing when to lead and how to influence. Being adaptable, being able to show initiative and being good at communicating are all really important, as are the ability to work on your own, to access and analyse data, to figure out how to interpret that data and communicate it effectively. Being curious, being empathetic, being optimistic, being tenacious and resilient are all important skills. This programme will give you an opportunity to practice all of those things. You might recall back, we've split to the first term and you've done 2 weeks of this programme already. The programme was divided up in this way to offer you an opportunity to develop different elements over the course of the project. Week 1 was really all about your personal development, about understanding yourself, what it is that you hope to achieve and what you have to offer. Being able to share that with teammates and co-create a contract where you are able to negotiate a common goal. Week 5 was where we started to think more about the challenge theme, about enabling you to understand your stakeholder group and how to go about exploring the problem, but also coming up with an idea that would help solve the problems or challenges faced by your stakeholder group. In Trimester 2, in week 1, we're going to think more deeply about the ideas that you guys have come up with, and we're going to help you understand how you can robustly test those ideas, gather feedback and improve them to the point where you actually have something that your end user would want. We're also going to be doing a little bit of pitching and presenting practice so that when you get to week 5, where there is no taught element, you will just have time to finish your final presentations and submit them. But we would hope that you would have the skills required by that point to be able to do something. Running across all of this, of course, is access to the services provided by Student Futures at Edinburgh Napier. We provide a regular skills audit where you can assess your current level of graduate skills and evaluate your progress. This will help guide your future development goals and understand what it is that you need to add to your skill set in order to be effective. We would encourage you to look at the Career Pulse on Student Futures on the Career Hub and have a go at that on a regular basis. It's really important. This will help you to develop the wider suite of employability skills that you require to get through an interview, to find a job and be effective in the workplace. Week 1, as we said, was all about knowing yourself, and it's really important that you do that. That's why the Career Pulse is important. It's also why we asked you to complete this personal avatar template. We wanted you to think about the things that are important to you, the things that you want to achieve, and also the things that you have to offer And in all of that, it will help you to understand how you can make an impact. This is an example of a completed personal avatar template, and actually part of that was about helping you understand who you are, but also it was just a document that would help you to communicate who you are to the other people on your team. It's just a really quick and simple way to share what you're all about with those other people, and it was designed that it could then inform the work that you did on the team contract. Hopefully you all managed to submit your team contract and you all were able to make a contribution. You now have a document that you can refer back to if you're having any conflict or disputes within your team, because you had agreed how you would work together, how you might assign roles, and how you might evaluate your success. Now, these things are never perfect, but it's important that you use this as a basis to resolve any conflict within your teams, and also as a reminder that actually you're there to achieve a common goal, and it's important that you all make a contribution. If you were in the real workplace, you would be required to figure out how to work together with the people that are on your team in the workplace. This is not necessarily something where you would negotiate a contract with those people, but you would certainly have to come to some sort of common understanding of how you would work together. And it's important that you consider the different elements of this team contract when you're in that scenario. We're asking you, as you go through this programme, to keep a reflective record, and you will be required in week 5 of this trimester to submit that record by the end of the week. And so it's really important that you just keep a note of all the activity that's going, but it's also a useful record to look back on so that you can assess the strategies that you implemented when you were dealing with different situations and scenarios. It's something that you can use as a learning tool to think about how you might approach those scenarios in the future. The reality is you'll probably come up with some of the scenarios or come across some of the scenarios again in your future working life, and hopefully the next time you come across any challenges, you'll be better prepared because you've been through it before. In week 5 we started really to get into the challenge that we've set you. We decided to choose one of the Sustainable Development Goals set by the United Nations, because we felt that these challenges are something that everybody faces, that everybody will have an opinion on. This year we've chosen gender equality, and hopefully within your teams you'll be able to come up with some good ideas that might help the people that you're involved with in your stakeholder group to better face gender equality challenges in the future. This is an opportunity for you to have a positive impact on the world. It's important certainly that you consider completing your project and your challenge. The impact is important, but not the be-all and end-all. What we really want you to do is to reflect on the journey that you've gone through in this project and how you can use that experience in the future. One of the first things that we did was ask you to build a stakeholder map. We wanted you to get to know the community that you're dealing with when you consider the challenge that you've been set. Remember that the challenge was slightly different in all the different subject groups across years 1 to 3 within the business school. So you're not all necessarily working on the same challenge, but you will all have to have identified a group of people that you can solve a problem for. The better you get to know these people or these organisations, the easier it is to focus on the specific challenges that they have, and therefore you can come up with an idea that will help them when they come up against these challenges. So we wanted you to use your stakeholder map to identify relevant people and organisations and to get out and talk to your stakeholders and observe their behaviour. We recognise that there are limitations during a global pandemic to do that, but again, there's still ample opportunity for you to connect with people online or within your own social circles and networks. We encourage you to build stakeholder personas to be able to tell stories of how these people might behave now and in the future in the context of this gender equality challenge. And we want you to use all of the research that you're doing to identify the problems faced by your stakeholders so that you can come up with a solution to those problems. The more you put into this, the better your solution is going to be, as with everything in life. We asked you to come up with an idea within your teams through a brainstorming session, and that's where we got to at the end of trimester 1. Hopefully you're happy with your idea. If you're not, well, you could go back and have another go. This is just the first idea. Ideas aren't developed in isolation. It's an iterative process. You need to work with others to come up with good ideas. And so trimester 2 is going to be where we provide you with some advice and some tips and tricks on how you can go out and robustly test these ideas and figure out if they're any good or not. This is something that entrepreneurs do all the time. They go out and test their ideas. So that's why we talk about enterprise skills. We're aware that not everybody wants to be or is going to be an entrepreneur, but actually it's the skills and behaviours that they use every day that are the things that employers are saying they want our graduates to have as well. So here's some of those common traits. Entrepreneurs tend to join a community. They find a group of people that they can share their ideas with. Within your stakeholder group and your team, hopefully you've got that community that you can draw on. The point is that they go out and test their ideas by sharing them. So we're going to be figuring out how you can share your idea with your stakeholder group. That will be through things like presentations, through prototyping, and providing lots of different ways to gather feedback on your idea. The other thing that entrepreneurs do is they think and act quickly, and that's what we want you to do. We want you to have the confidence in your own decision making and to be able to move quickly through this project so that you don't spend a huge amount of time and effort on it. You should be able to get through these things quickly by thinking and acting quickly. That's something that sometimes you need to practice in order to be able to do better. You also need to be able to make decisions quickly about whether it's worth doing or not. If you calculate your acceptable loss, you can calculate how much time and effort you want to put into this before deciding whether it will work or not. You also have to get comfortable with failure. It may not work. Don't worry about that. That's not important. As we said, the output in this program is not as important as the experience. We want you to be able to reflect on failures and to talk about them openly, because that actually shows that you're learning from those things. And that is something that employers are looking for, that you can learn from your mistakes, move on quickly and get better. And these stories will give you something to talk about at interview stage, because inevitably you'll ask about where you've made mistakes and how you've learned from them. They want you to be able to grow in the job, and this is a way to communicate that. As we said, we want you to keep a record of all the activity that you've undertaken across this program so that you can learn from it. But of course, you're required to submit your reflective record at the end of week 5. So keep going with that. And the other thing that we're going to get you to do is to submit a video presentation about the story of your journey through this program and about the solution that you've come up with for your stakeholders. We're asking you to submit this on Teams. It'll be a 7 to 10 minute presentation. It shouldn't be too complicated to do, because you're just telling the story of the things that you've done throughout the program. We would like the team to make a contribution. We encourage you to be creative in the way that you present your ideas, and we'll be doing some stuff later in the week to give you some ideas about some of the things that you could be doing to better pitch and present your ideas. So hopefully you will find this week really useful, and to develop some skills that will be absolutely of great value in the workplace going forward. This is a chance to practice those things so that you're better at them when it comes to the real thing. So good luck, and we'll look forward to working with you.